thank you everyone for joining. I'm going to give everyone a couple minutes to join here. And while we wait, I would love to get to know y'all a little bit better. And since this is a bit about Valentine's Day, I wanted to know, what is the most creative Valentine's gift you've gotten or given in years past? And then especially if there's like a cool brand that you recommend for Valentine's Day gifts. If you have an answer, just throw it in the chat. I'd love to hear it while we wait for people to join. And Jenna and Zach, if y'all have anything, throw it in there too. I know it's
I'd love to see some answers. I don't know if I have anything cool to contribute to this question. I'm like racking my brain.
I got one for you. So there's a really cool brand out there that does him and hers perfumes, and it's always hard to buy a perfume via e-commerce, right? Like, how do I smell this? How do I know it's going to be my right type of scent? But there's a brand out there, they're from New Jersey, they're called For Habibi, and their scents are very strong. So you're paying for the quality, but there's some great his, her sample sets. I know that if you buy a full fragrance, I believe you get $20 towards another purchase. So that's a great partner gift or self-purchase. But I highly recommend them, as they've got a lot of different reviews online. They have reviews on site, video reviews. But yeah, grab the sample set. You'll definitely find a fragrance, and everyone knows there's nothing that's more memorable than smell, right?
Zach, do you have some affiliate commission coming in off of that?
I just like to spread the love of good products. You know, I've been through the mall and I'm walking out of there with 20 samples and I can't remember which one.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Got one from chat too. Reminds me of a brand that works with celebrities to create bespoke scents for them. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
very cool.
That's really cool. I would love to have my own scent. That's awesome. Cool. All right, we're about 3 minutes in, so I think we can go ahead and get things rocking and rolling, in the words of my dad many times.
Dad jokes.
Cool. All right. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining. I'm Michael from Justuno. I'm here today with Jenna Ochoa from Sendlane and Zach Bailey from Justuno as well. And we're talking about Valentine's Day and unlocking the power of Justuno and Sendlane with our new integration with each other. We're really excited for this webinar, and we have a lot of awesome content. So yeah, Zach and Ocho, if y'all want to give a little bit about yourself.
All right, I'll go first. Thank you, Zach. Hi, everyone. My name is Jenna Ochoa. My team, I used to be at Justuno, so Michael called me Ocho. That's what they used to call me. You can call me Jenna or Ocho. It's cool. And I moved to the Sendlane team at the end of last year. So I've moved into the role of Director of Strategic Technology Partnerships, and I'm so excited that we launched the integration with Justuno. It was on my wish list from both sides. So when I was at Justuno, I wanted it, and now that I'm at Sendlane, I wanted it. So I'm super excited to see it in vivo, and we're going to give you some details today about how we're going to use it, or how you can use the tools together.
Thanks so much, Jenna. And yeah, working with Jenna has been fantastic, and Justuno's had a long partnership with Sendlane, so we're excited to see that integration kind of revamped up. There's been a lot that Sendlane has done, and there's been a lot that Justuno's done over the past 2+ years I've been with Justuno. I've been, helping out partners and accounts with strategy, accounts as big as, the first place that designed the first in-home COVID test, which is Everlywell, all the way to just small e-commerce mom and pop shops. Right now, I'm currently doing strategy for our agency partners, but we look forward to helping you understand, the value in both here Sendlane and Justuno, and how you can improve your CRO and your growth of your email list and your SMS list here in the near future.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Jenna and Zach. Yeah, so with all that in mind, let's get it started. So yeah, today we'll be talking about obviously Justuno and Sendlane. Justuno is one of the premier CRO suites in the e-commerce space, and Sendlane is one of the top email service providers in the space as well, with a ton of features that I will let Jenna and Zach dive into. So Jenna, if you want to give like two quick lines about Sendlane for those unfamiliar.
Yeah, sure. Also, I'm like 1 month into my new gig, so I'm still learning a lot about our product and everything like that. But I can say with full confidence that Sendlane is an emerging marketing automation system focused on e-commerce. We're going to be competing with most of the names that you hear in that space, but we do have some differentiators, which I'll cover in this presentation, probably toward the end. But yeah, we allow merchants to launch marketing automation via SMS and email, or combination of those two channels together. So that's what we do. And the way in which our Justuno integration works is basically, post lead capture. So Justuno would serve as the lead capture component. We ingest that data. We can build segments off of that data. And then once the customer clicks back through from email, then we can target those specific UTMs or even behavioral traits with the feature inside of Sendlane to show a promotion via Justuno.
Awesome. Thanks, Ocho. Very in-depth. Cool. Well, and so Zach, I guess if you want to give a quick run of Justuno for those unfamiliar.
Yeah, the quick and dry of Justuno is being able to have a CRO suite, a conversion rate optimization suite that provides data for you to pull different levers, right, and provide on-site messaging. The great thing about Justuno is oftentimes it's a middleman that is integrating with services like Sendlane, where we are helping to gather that first-party data, send that to your ESP, send that to your SMS provider like Sendlane. We're also going to help you with doing things like reducing bounces, with reducing items being left in cart, with creating custom visitor experiences that are going to help increase the velocity towards a conversion. We all know now conversions are harder and harder to come by. And so if you're doing a lot of top level prospecting, what are you doing on site to mirror that? And we're going to talk a lot about that and custom messages. And there's such a variety of possibilities in Justuno. We can't help for you guys to explore more and more of that.
Awesome. Thank you, Ocho and Zach. Great. Well, then with all that in mind, we can kind of dive straight into the nitty gritty. And so while we do that, I'm going to launch a quick poll. And it is, are you using email and SMS marketing with only one provider? And the answers are no, I prefer two solutions because of their strengths. Yes, consolidating is the key to successful automation. Or I'm only doing email marketing. I'm not quite ready for SMS yet. So throw your answers into that poll, and that will help Ocho and Zach with their presentation a little bit to kind of provide the most relevant information and content during this. So yeah, while those come in, I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide and let Ocho and Zach take it away.
Cool. Yeah, Zach, I think when we were teeing up this presentation, we were talking about, hey, Valentine's Day campaigns. And then I put a slide in here that was like, are you sure you want to do a Valentine's Day campaign? And then we were like, okay, Ocho, maybe that wasn't the right slide to put in. But the point I wanted to get at, which we'll see on the next slide, we don't have to go there yet, is about preferences. So Zach, you had some interesting insight just from your background of working with brands directly. So I thought, maybe you could kick it off and discuss what you're seeing brands build right now. And then I can then pivot into some trends that I've seen, especially in the rise of these privacy laws that are ever increasing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime I get a chance to hang out with Chance the Rapper, we're going to go all in. So, first things first, should I consider a Valentine's Day campaign? You absolutely should. The reason you should do that is for a number of reasons. First and foremost, when you take the opportunity, and I'm going to let that hang for a second, to show some customization, to show something fresh on your site. Remember, e-commerce, when you're a new visitor or returning visitor, trust is one of the biggest components that will gear a visitor towards a conversion. So if they come onto site and they see new promotions that are present, there's a trust there because that means the site is active, right? You want to have a limited Valentine's promotion, right? You can do that within Justuno. You can schedule your promotions out for just a period of time. But having that themality, it resonates with people. It's fun, it's light, it's something different. And people might have visited your site during Black Friday, or they visited in the past and they saw your standard lead capture form. They didn't interact with it, but maybe Valentine's is their thing, or you have something in the copy or a lifestyle image, or it's just that time where they're on the buying timeline that they want to engage with and provide their contact information, because they also know that you're going to be doing marketing and secular type of promotions and incentives. So definitely take that opportunity to also think about Valentine's as not in the traditional sense. It doesn't always have to be about partners and buying gifts. It can be about your company showing your visitors that love. They're an extension of your brand. So show them that and talk to them in your promotions, and use Valentine's as a great way to explore that.
Yeah, Michael, if you can go to the next slide. I think that what I loved about Zach telling us in prep yesterday was just about like pushing that sort of like just focus on the customer, and maybe it's just an offer for them and not really fueling the narrative of couples or whatever the traditional approach might be. Where I wanted to speak about this before we get into the Valentine's Day theme is that since this is technically one of the first marketing holidays of the year for brands, I think it's going to be present this year, as we saw probably in the last 2 years, brands really paying attention to their customers' marketing preferences. So I don't know if any of you who are in attendance saw this, and you can chime in and chat if you did, but I saw an uptick on it on Mother's Day, for example, giving your audience the opportunity to opt out of those campaigns. Just because a lot of these marketing holidays might not be something that aligns 100% with what your customer wants to see. Maybe that's painful for them. Maybe they don't care. Maybe their lifestyle doesn't align with the holiday narrative that you're pushing. So we've seen an uptick in what is being called like preference marketing, or just being able to let your customers choose what they want to see. So I threw up a couple of screenshots here, but one thing that you can do is build an email campaign to allow your customers to opt out of any holidays, and you can do that in advance. And some people even build like a landing page where they have these radio buttons, and you can say, hey, here's what I'm interested in, or here's what I don't want to hear about. Then once you capture those data points, you can then append the right tags or push to the right segments in order for those folks to funnel to the correct automations and be suppressed from the other ones. So I think I just wanted to set the stage here. Maybe Valentine's Day isn't that the hallmark holiday that you would do a preferences campaign for, but certainly I think starting to think about that now for 2022 and where do you want to offer that control. You could always launch it early and just get a vibe. And then that way, once you do send out those holiday campaigns, they will be more effective. So yeah, these bullet points is just pretty much saying what I said, but you can even run this with email and SMS. So, if you're seeing a high engagement in SMS as a channel, you can send them a preferences there, like, hey, do you want to hear about this? Respond yes and have them opt in, or respond no, and it will suppress them. If they're not a subscriber yet, so if you don't have them in your database yet, then you can always add that on your lead capture. So build a promo in Justuno. Once you capture their information and maybe they click continue on the second screen, you could have a preferences. What are you interested in? And then have those custom fields append to your contact record. Then you can build your audience in a smart way. Obviously, the overall goal there is to just increase retention of those customers. So I'd say let's start thinking about that right now. And then if you go to the next slide, we have, I think, Zach, you were going to talk about just some more of like the obvious kind of gifts and some that might not be so common or traditional.
Yeah, I think there's always an opportunity if you evaluate your business to provide people a great experience. And so to trigger people regarding, a reason to maybe opt in to your email list or your SMS, right, is to talk about how maybe this time of year, if they're going to make a gift purchase, that you will provide to them an incentive, maybe higher points for your rewards program, or just provide a great experience in sending them through the use of a CTA and a promotion to a URL where you're going to have your gifts guides, or have your gifts all in one location, so that they can explore some items that they might not have explored in the past, because that's not something that's an urgent need. The thing is that we can all attest to being humans, and we're procrastinators. So being on an email list or an SMS list to get reminded about when and what we should purchase, it's helpful because oftentimes we're all so busy that we forget. And so if you can think about providing your visitors even gift cards or, couple sets, there's a lot of different ways to help your visitors understand that value and that option as far as what gifts are available. And again, providing people a chance to earn rewards programs for their first purchase during this time of year, that's going to, again, be a way for you to use Valentine's Day and say, hey, customers, this is a way for us to show you some love.
That sounds good. Michael, if we can go to the next slide, just keep going. Yep. Yeah, so I think, Zach, you hit on one thing I think is going to be pretty hot again this year, which is gift cards. I think we saw an uptick in that last year. And as we see increasingly strained supply chain and folks having issues with getting product in and longer wait times, gift card is going to be a very just a solid choice, right? Like you can gift them to the merchant you want to support, but obviously they can buy what they want and then get it when they want. A cool app that I've seen for that recently, this is not in the presentation, but if you are on Shopify, there's an app called GoVollo. I'll type it into the chat here. And it's definitely worth checking out. There is a woman named Kelly Vaughn who runs a really tight Shopify Plus agency. And she and her partner developed this app specifically for gifting and starting to get really good traction. So I'd recommend checking that out. On the screen here, what I wanted to show is this is actually a partner template that is live within the Justuno app today. So we launched some brand new lead capture templates with Sendlane. And this one's just a super basic lead capture, but we are adding the extra first name field. Lots of folks don't ask for that. You'll hear the consistent advice, like the less form fields, the higher conversion. Yes, but what can you tweak to start making your follow-up more personal? First name field is super easy to add, especially if you're only asking for email after that. Then you'll be able to personalize that flow. Additionally, what you can do, I put a screenshot here of how you can build a segment with our deep data integrations, Shopify being one of those, is that you could also understand who used this exact discount code. So you see on the second screen, they're getting a code LOVE15 for opting in. They're getting 15% off. Inside of Sendlane, you can create a segment for your audience saying like, these are just dummy fields, but basically this is selecting your store. The order was fulfilled. The discount code that they used was LOVE15. So you can understand, hey, this person actually purchased. The discount code that they used was this. So knowing that this person bought on a holiday and knowing that they were a new customer, because this is a new customer promo, and you would set that targeting rule inside Justuno, what follow-up campaign can you make based off of that? Maybe it's you're confident that they're going to purchase on a holiday. So the next holiday, you put them in a segment that you're sure has higher intent versus your other traffic. So I think this is just hopefully showing you how advanced you can get, even though this is a pretty basic setup, right? Just an extra field capture with the name and just doing a little bit more work inside of your Sendlane account. Zach, I don't know if you've seen anything with, oh yeah, and here's a screenshot of where our templates live. So this is inside your Justuno account. If you head to the template library at the bottom, click on Sendlane, and then you can access the promotions that we built. But Zach, I don't know if you've seen anything with like agency or any merchants that you've worked with about what has been effective for follow-ups for people who have purchased from holiday campaigns or even Valentine's Day specific.
Yeah, I would say if within Justuno, you can use one of the over 150 different advanced targeting rules depending on what strategy you want to implement. So if you're wanting to have a specific message or specific lead capture for people who have made prior purchase, you can definitely target those users. I think it's a great strategy if you've not entered the realm of SMS yet, which I cannot urge you enough to do. Definitely take the jump into SMS now. And the reason being is that if you have people who have made purchase, they've already shown some type of commitment to your brand. And now it's time to build on that lifetime value. And through SMS is one of the best strategies. And you can target those visitors who have made purchase and have not provided maybe their email or engage with the lead capture prior. That's a rule option. And so with that, providing the SMS, you can let them know that your SMS list, it's a VIP list. Create some exclusivity within your brand. Let people know that your brand and your SMS, that's the premium tier to be a part of. And that's where the best incentives are going to be delivered. That's where you're going to be able to provide people with the most up-to-date shipping issues that we've all seen recently, as well as inventory updates. People love to know when new items arrive. They also love to know when new and past items are on sale. And then you'll be able to gather that data and then further optimize that strategy that you implemented for people who have made a prior purchase, but who are not maybe on your list currently. So I highly recommend that. And that is what I'm seeing some of our top agencies do now, is that is a strategy that's being tested as SMS is just growing and growing, and people are looking at more and more innovative ways of finding opportunities to grow that SMS list.
Cool, thanks, Zach. Michael, if you can go to slide 9, that would be great. I'm curious if folks are running like traditional Valentine's Day campaigns. I asked here in chat, but no one has responded. So if you guys feel like throwing me a bone, you can answer. But if you don't want to run a traditional Valentine's Day campaign, a type of marketing, and really it's sort of like more of a business focus that we are really behind here at Sendlane and will be focused more on this year, is the idea of conscious commerce. So supporting a cause, giving back, you could loop this into probably any marketing holiday on the calendar. And so I just wanted to throw out an example of like a full life cycle of one of those campaigns. Justuno actually integrates with a really cool app called Shopping Gives. And what they do is enable merchants to take donations and put them toward a specific cause. So if you're this brand, White and Warren, I do know the particular story behind this brand is that one of their founders, her family, and I believe even herself, even her suffered from heart disease. So she really wanted to make that her cause and push that with her company and her brand. So using Shopping Gives, they created a whole campaign out of this. And all Shopping Gives is it lives on the checkout. It's nothing, it doesn't live in ESP. You have to create that collateral on your own, but it's just a tool that enables you to push a portion of the purchase to that specific organization. So here on the screen, I wanted to show you like how you could build a conscious commerce campaign, and how you would also use Justuno and Sendlane in that. So first thing here we have is like a Facebook ad. You would definitely want to put some paid just to increase awareness around your brand's initiative here. Once they click through, you could show an offer on site via Justuno. And Zach, do you want to talk super quick about how you target those on site, like from Facebook?
Yeah, so the easiest thing to utilize as far as Justuno when it comes to targeting for Facebook, it's going to be in your basic rules selection, and it's just one click of a button, and you'll see that you can target or not target specific traffic sources, people coming from Facebook, people coming from email or not coming from email. A lot of Justuno templates will already contain those best practices and those rules. So I would have to say that just like you saw the template that Sendlane has uploaded in our template library, there's a plethora of other use case scenarios for you to investigate. So we've already done a lot of that lifting for you.
Cool. Yeah, so you can set it up as a super easy basic rule, or even go as granular as targeting the exact Facebook click ID so that you are sure that that is a super tight segment. So yeah, you would show an offer on site from that ad traffic. We want to make sure you capture that ad traffic so you're getting more return on your ad spend there. Once you do, you can send out an awareness campaign via email about the cause that you're supporting. Michael, if you can go to the next slide. Another idea here is that if you are using a tool that has both email and SMS, you can combine those powers. So let's say they opt in, you capture them on site from the ad. You can also understand who clicked through this email, like who opened this special offer and they did not complete their checkout. So we can build a segment based on that. And then once you have that segment, you could send them an SMS campaign, like Zach was saying, that's, you know, the channel to be right now. But point being is I wanted to show like the full life cycle and how you could retarget that first ad click all the way down to SMS to get them to opt into this campaign or to convert from this campaign. I think on the next slide, I just had a different idea, similar concept. Yeah, so another idea is that you could also show them, instead of that just email capture, you could show them a two-step that includes email and SMS capture. That way, once they opt into this conscious commerce cause, that's a lot of alliteration there, that you could follow up with them via SMS and email in the same campaign. So there's a screenshot here of Sendlane automations. You can fire triggers based on multiple criteria. And then you can also build out like, hey, once they opt in here, I want to send them SMS first. They don't engage with that. Let me follow up with an email 2 days later. Just keep it top of mind and respecting each channel. So yeah, go ahead, Zach.
I was just going to say, I can't extend enough how I've seen agencies, these professional marketers out there taking advantage of what Jenna had mentioned, which is the use of UTMs and the use of that's mirroring the message that your visitor was triggered by in your top level or your trigger level marketing that led them to site. Don't let there be a gap in that influence. And that's why you would definitely want to continue that same mirrored message on your website. The nice thing about that is you can A/B test two different messages inside of Justuno. Maybe you have a version with a different lifestyle image, but with the same copy that triggered the visitor to land on site. Maybe you have a different CTA that will allow the visitor to explore other parts of the site, maybe send them to another URL if they were thinking about now leaving the site without adding an item to cart. There's just a lot of information and a lot of opportunity for you to continue pushing these visitors further down the conversion funnel. And we've all heard that it takes somebody 7 times to hear something before they'll take action to it. and there's a science behind that, and it's been proven that it works. So make sure that you do utilize that, because not only are you providing a good customer experience, but you're gathering data around how your marketing strategy is working, all the way from the top funnel, the mid, and then down into the conversion.
And providing a good customer experience, I think that's one of the things we're still learning as we see the increase in marketing automation platforms offer various channels of communication. So, hey, we offer email and SMS. Well, how do you respect both of those channels and the customer support you need to provide through those? I wanted to show quickly, since we did show an SMS capture use case, Sendlane, we are launching with two-way reply in our SMS capabilities. So, if you launch a specific holiday campaign, you can in the future have folks actually reply to those automations and then have one-to-one conversations with them. Why this is cool is because you can really personalize that experience. So if you send out a campaign and they reply like, hey, does this sizing tend to run large? You can have somebody on your team answer that question. Then you can see how the contact record is appended here to the right. You can dive into this contact record and apply tags or enroll folks in an automation. So it's like, hey, they have questions about sizing. We built an automation purely around size questions. And maybe inside that automation, you have like an email that shows different reviews that you've had from people who have purchased your product, and it's like 5 stars, but runs a little small. Then you can give them sort of like this UGC or user generated content and make the proof and really just close that loop from somebody chiming in on this two-way with a very personal conversation. So I just wanted to show that use case. Michael, we can go to the next slide. Okay. Let's talk about, Zach, if you want to take this slide, just talk about general, like more traditional approach to a Valentine's Day campaign.
Yeah, I think that when you're going to have a Valentine's Day campaign, again, you're going to want to surface things that are going to grab people's attention. So depending on what type of products you use, if you can utilize lifestyle images like we're looking at here, this would be on the right side of my screen. Humans, we work to where when someone looks at us, we look at them. So if you have a on-site or an email or an SMS campaign where you can utilize that, it creates that psychology of this is how I will look in that product, or this is how this product will solve the problem that I have. Again, you're also going to want to make sure that, like we're looking at in this middle example here, the 20% off, right? My eye quickly grabs that. I know exactly what my incentive is, and I've just interacted with that. That's going to help compel me to understand that this is a business transaction, and it's a good one because you're already giving me something. And I would have to, reinforce that anytime you can create that experience where you can provide an opportunity to create a business exchange within your marketing, it's going to go that much further for you. That doesn't mean that you always have to provide an incentive. That can mean a static review. That can mean that you are just providing people with maybe some type of gifts or, movable images, things that make it fun, things that help grab their eye. Even things such as thresholds. If you're not able to provide a discount, let people know that if they have a certain amount of item in cart, that they will get X for that. Maybe a small discount that can, reduce the shipping fees, as that's one of the main reasons why people will leave site. But more than anything, find a way within your marketing to help expedite their journey. Show them the products that you want them to see. Stair step them into higher price products, show your brand as a premium product, and then let them go find the items that are maybe lesser priced. But also make sure that you're showing, if you're doing, like I said, those gift packages or anything like that, but make your marketing easy to read, big, bold font, less is better.
Yeah, not much to add from the Sendlane side there. Oh, yeah, sorry, Michael, it's okay. I just threw in a screenshot here from a brand that I subscribe to, which is Outdoor Voices, and this was their Valentine's campaign last year. all of these boxes that you see with product imagery were GIFs, so they were animated. They also do a really great job of showing different body types in their product. So a lot you could do here, but as you can see, there's this pretty simple and basic, big font, red and black, kind of goes with the theme, very easy CTA. And Sendlane, we do have a super easy drag and drop editor. So, you know, building something like this is a breeze. We have templates you can get started off and customize even further. You can go ahead and go to the next slide, Michael. And so Zach was mentioning thresholds. I think that's interesting, and we could talk about that here, but if anyone wants to participate in chat, feel free. I'd be curious if any merchants are running influencer marketing. Of course, we've seen that tick up extremely in the past, like 5 years for sure. Instagram and TikTok are going to be your main channels right now for that. Of course, with video and paid sponsorships. The point I wanted to make is that you can if your brand is, okay, it looks like we have somebody looking to jump into TikTok soon. That's good. That's where all the rage is right now. But I think you should absolutely consider, if you are putting budget into influencer marketing, even if it's not an insane amount, you should look to double purpose those assets into email marketing and SMS. So, you know, here I have Ariana Grande, which is, you know, an extreme influencer level, but I just wanted to show like a visual concept of what that could look like for an email campaign. And then what Zach was saying is, you know, once these people click through from the campaign, with our integration, we could target those UTM parameters, understand they're coming from this Ariana Grande campaign, and we can show them a special offer. Maybe that's based on the threshold. Maybe it's like, hey, they added $100 to cart. I want to show them free gift wrap. That's the example we have here. But any little thing you could do to make that experience better coming from the influencer marketing campaign is really going to help that customer journey convert. Zach, I don't know if you want to add. Oh, you love her too. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I can't harp on that enough. Continue to mirror those messages. Go into your Instagram, go into your TikTok, look at what these comments are. You can use these platforms like free focus groups. That's something that I've helped my agencies explore. You know, we have never before access to our prospect clients, to our current clients. You know, use what you see your visitors saying where they find value. Show images. If you see a lot of comments on a product image that you've posted on TikTok or Instagram, use that in your emails. People are already telling you that imagery works for them. Build on that, and then use that same concept on site. Why? It's working. You are pushing people further down the conversion funnel. It's also a great experience to see you know, like images that you saw that triggered you to go and investigate that product or go investigate that site once you've landed there. So don't let your influence marketing stop just at TikTok or stop just at Instagram. Bring that on site, bring that to your SMS, and bring that to your email. It's going to work. There's going to be more engagements. You've already proven it. It's already online. Your followers, they're already showing you what's working.
You know, what's interesting is I came across a thread the other day in the Shopify Plus Facebook community, but it was a development question. And there are merchants who are now building in the stories icon. So just like a circle with an animated loop where you can interact with that and see video content, just like these channels. They're now building that into their D2C website. So very similar functionality above the fold. So it's interesting to see how this channel is like impacting the direct site experience. But yeah, I'm not on TikTok yet, so you guys have to let me know how that goes.
And I would also say that one of the biggest advantages that smaller brands have is your brand story. It's your brand identity. You know, Amazon, we know what that identity is. We know what the big box stores' identities are. There's not a lot there. So the more that you can help people understand your brand identity, your separator, through either your email, your SMS, or your on-site conversion tool like Justuno promotions, it's going to help that story stay in their mind. And people remember the brand story. They don't remember products. they'll come back to you for that. So anytime you can utilize that as a competitive separator, do it.
Yeah, thanks. I was just typing a note in the chat here. I wanted to plug, Justuno has an integration with a really nice tool called Gatsby. You can look into that on their site, or I'll shoot the link here pretty quick. Their micro influencer tool, and they just launched the capability for you to have insights now on your Instagram stories, or like brand mentions that happen. So you could check that out. All right, let's talk about reactivating our Black Friday customers. Zach, what have you seen with email campaigns retargeting people who opted in?
Yeah, so definitely reach back out to those people that have opted in. You know, a lot of people received gift cards, or they made a first-time purchase. Reach back out to them, thank them. One of my favorite experiences as I interact with thousands of brands daily is that if I make a purchase, a post-purchase thank you and an incentive to come back. You know, it might have been smaller than what was provided, even if I left my email or SMS the first time. But again, what they've done is they've created a business relationship and an incentive for me to come back and create that next step and that next purchase, or even just to come back and explore. So I would definitely recommend letting people know that you know, new inventory has come in, or inventory that they might have seen is now being discounted, so that you're going to replace that with upcoming inventory. If you have the ability to do some paid ads where you're targeting people who have unsubscribed, again, grab that UTM, put that into you know, a Justuno promotion where you are maybe offering a higher incentive to join the list again. Or look back and see what your first attempt was and that triggered them to join the list, and come with a completely different angle to keep them on longer. Also talk about the rewards program. Remember, that's a big separator. You spend with us, so you can incentivize people that way.
Cool. And I think just the visual example here is, you know, sending an email campaign to re-engage with those folks asking for a review on the item they purchased. Another example on the next slide is that you can build in inside your Sendlane account, you can understand like specific traits of people who may have been purchasing a gift. So if you take a step back to when we were initially talking about like how the integration works, if you build a Justuno promotion with whatever standard fields you want to capture, so maybe that's just email and phone number, you can also build in a custom field, which will populate on the promo. It can be visible, and you can say, hey, what are you shopping for today? Commonly seen as gender, and then you have the option to also select gift. So especially on Valentine's Day, like I know, for example, like I shop for my husband on like golf websites, but I will never buy anything from there for myself. But I get campaigns as if I were a golfer, but I'm not. I'm just a gifter. So I think you really, as a merchant, can have an opportunity to capitalize on understanding, hey, this person is gifting. So this is just a quick screenshot of how you could build that segment. Again, using that Love 15, hey, they opted in on this Valentine's Day campaign with that discount code and the custom field. So we would build it in as a radio button on Justuno, but once they select that, shopping for gift would push then to Sendlane, and you could target that within your audience. So then you could tailor the follow-up flow as like, hey, we know that you gave a gift, so let's personalize that experience. We can go to the next slide, Michael. I think, Zach, this one's yours, gift guides.
Yeah, so with Justuno, I always like people to understand this analogy. You know, Justuno can be used as basically a digital sales assistant. And what does that mean? Well, we want to be able to direct people on site. So if people are landing, if they're coming from a paid ad or an email that doesn't have you know, the ability to send that visitor right to your gift guide, know that you have that ability in what Justuno. You can have a CTA, or you can have multiple CTAs to say, hey, click to see our partners gifts guide, or click to see our customer reviews, or click to see our Valentines gift guides, right? And then you can couple that with our Justuno Plus Commerce AI feature, where you're able to help people explore through like cross-selling or upselling additional items items that would pair well, or items that are maybe priced a little bit higher that that visitor wasn't ever going to consider because they shop always at a certain price point. But you can couple that with letting them know that, hey, we have certain tiers. So if you spend, let's say, $300 with us, we're going to be able to provide you like a 5% or 10% discount. But more than anything, just being able to help the visitor have a good experience and understand that you want to send them to places on site that's going to help them make a purchase fast. That's how you create a great experience.
I also love the idea of gift guides, like from my stint at Justuno. I would always offer these up to brands who did not necessarily want to offer a discount. So, you know, merchants who either have like higher revenue or they don't have good margins on their product. They're like, hey, I can't afford to give away a 20% discount every time. Gift guide was a great recommendation to just keep your brand upscale and still get people's information. So even if, I mean, what Zach's presenting is great, like a dynamic interactive promotion. You could also build it as a static opt-in, like, hey, opt into this, we'll deliver it via email. And then inside Sendlane, you could actually click through to those recommended products with the same strategy of like, this could be an upsell opportunity. This is like the most popular in this category. And then once they click back through on site, you could then use Justuno again to retarget them and show them those products with the AI product recommendation tool. So I love this idea. I think it's super low hanging fruit, and I see a lot of brands do gift guides. I love it. Next slide. Let's talk about how you can retarget inside of Sendlane. So I briefly touched on this feature in the introduction, but Sendlane has a capability called Beacon that you can activate on any account. And what that does is basically track your subscriber website activity. So the screenshot I'm showing here is just showing how you could create an event and trigger an email based on that event, then retarget that with Justuno on site. So let's say, hey, this person clicked through an email, they were browsing, they viewed this hoodie, and then they exited out of the browser. We can understand that that contact went to that specific product page and left. So we can fire them an email, whatever time threshold you think is best. And then we recommend sending that email for up to 3 days after that event happened. You can pull in that product itself. So you can see in our builder, that's how you would do that. It pulls directly from your Shopify product catalog. And then on this pink button, once you click that inside of our builder, you can specify the URL and the UTM, which is where Justuno comes into play. So they click through, Justuno reads the UTM, and they serve up this dynamic offer to say, hey, here's your hoodie that you forgot. Go ahead and check out now.
Yeah. And that's again, helping your visitors do what? Well, a lot of visitors during this time of year, what are they doing? They're window shopping. They're getting marketing from everybody. And so they're adding items to cart, and, you know, they're doing price comparisons. They're waiting for their partner or their friend or for something else to come along that, you know, seems that much more enticing to buy or maybe gift for themselves. But the great thing is that as you receive that follow-up email or that SMS regarding that product, it triggers you as the visitor to say, yeah, I did add that to cart and I was thinking about buying that. So when you land back on site from receiving the email or the SMS in Justuno, especially for our Shopify users, the promotion's already present. They see the item, they check out now, and they're on their way. So again, what was that experience that you created? It's like walking into a brick and mortar store and a sales associate walking up to you and saying, hey, I kept that jacket for you. Are you ready to check out with that? And then right back to your day.
I like it. That made me think of a Seinfeld episode, which I will not mention here because it probably won't land with the audience. But yeah, that I think, and thanks for mentioning SMS, Zach. I didn't mention that about Sendlane, but the beacon capability applies to basically the database level. So you're able to read anything that's happening and then fire on the appropriate channel of either email or SMS. Quickly, let's cover mobile traffic. I think those in attendance, if you are in e-commerce, you are aware of the importance and the the growth of this channel, or even cannibalization of desktop being the main player. But I think you can constantly optimize the mobile experience. Zach, I'll probably let you talk about A/B testing, but I just wanted to talk about building your SMS list. It seemed like from the poll, I don't know that I grabbed the full result from that, but I felt like the last answer, people who were just doing email, was pretty prevalent and haven't launched SMS yet. So when SMS launches at Sendlane, we are going to have, oh, thank you. Here are the poll results. Yeah, it looks like the majority are only doing email marketing, not SMS. Great. So when we look at, let's say, hey, I already have, a really large email list built up in my Sendlane account. How am I going to unlock SMS? What we have done is made a very easy way for folks to opt in. We're going to go to market with the ability to basically offer a keyword hash. If you don't know what that means, don't worry, I don't either. It just means we're going to take a short code and build it unique to your Sendlane account, so that if you build an email campaign and say, hey, we're X brand, we're launching SMS. If you'd like to subscribe to that channel for discounts, marketing updates, VIP special offers, then click here. And once they do, they'll go to site and get served a pop-up where you can just use Justuno's 2-tap functionality. Click it, it'll open their messages app and have your brand's keyword hash there and enable them to opt in immediately. So, the hope there would be that you would capture some of your existing email database and then gather that consent to push them now to the SMS channel. Zach, do you want to talk about how you guys look at SMS and operating on mobile promos specifically?
Yes, take a look at the chat. We'll be able to send this recording over as well, but there's some great examples in there. We've got the Sendlane example in there, and then just 2 other examples for you to see that the customization ability for your mobile experience. There's a lot of different possibilities. We can, reduce a promotion to the size of what looks like maybe a chat bot on your mobile experience, or using a banner. Right. So there's a lot of ways for us to help you gather information. And that's going to be the biggest opportunity, is for you to be able to investigate through an A/B test. Does a center promotion work better than just maybe a banner experience? Right. But being able to come in and gather that information based off of what we call location testing. It's difficult on mobile because there's just not a lot of room there. But just know that you do have that ability. And if you are thinking about exploring SMS, which if I was running your brand now, we would be in it yesterday, right? The tap to text feature is a great experience. You simply add your phone number, you click, all of a sudden, you get a message directly to your phone with either an incentive or a CTA, or the ability to click on a URL and go right to the product that you want to investigate. You have the option, like we all do now, to opt out when needed and to opt back in when needed. But you'll find your most loyal customers are going to join your SMS list. It's a way for you to build on that lifetime value. And with Justuno and the templates that are there, we've got best practices as far as to protect your Google SEO on your mobile experience, as well as just to strategize around different fonts and different images, and gather that information and find out what's working and resonating with your visitors. List growth is one of the keys to being a successful e-commerce brand. So definitely focus on that list growth, and SMS as an opportunity if you haven't yet.
And I couldn't underscore Zach's comment about respecting like the targeting rules and what could ding your SEO. Just with the rise of competing technologies, you will see a lot of merchants launching or firing an SMS capture from mobile on the first page load. If you know anything about SEO, you know that this is a terrible practice, and it is like the #1 wrong rule. You should never show a promotion on the first page load. So any of these technologies that are pumping that, you might see higher growth. You'll see higher opt-ins, but in the long run, it's probably going to bite you in the butt, depending on how much Google's algorithm changes in the next year, right? But I think be careful about what your targeting rules are. As Zach mentioned, with the promos and even with the Sendlane promos that are in the template section now, the targeting rules are already baked in with the best practices. So you don't have to worry about that. However, if you want to augment those, you want to optimize them, you have full access and control. But yes, just be very aware of that, and always design big buttons. Zach hit on that too. But one of my favorite people at Justuno, Robbie, who works in product, was always referencing some study that was done between Americans and Europeans, and Americans tend to have fatter thumbs. So design a big button so we can hit that CTA.
We need to walk more on our mobile experiences, right? Like the Europeans do. Let's walk more with our fingers. Us Americans, yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Cool. I think we're wrapped up now. Yeah, let's just summarize for folks still on the call. Thank you for these 33 people who have stayed on. Let's quickly recap why this integration is great. So today, if you're an existing Sendlane customer and an existing Justuno customer, you can start building SMS. Now you can start building it quicker and smarter. You can capture more first-party data to push into Sendlane. So you can stop depending on Facebook. Chances are, if you were, you probably already have sort of like siphoned off, pushing dollars there. You can create high intent segments for your email marketing automation. So understanding these deep data points that you either capture from Justuno or you leverage from your Shopify integration. And then with Sendlane, the way in which we're different from a few of other ESPs operating in our space is that we own our own servers. So we don't leverage another technology to do our sending for us. We own that. So if you have an issue with deliverability, that's on us. But we have shown that our deliverability rates are actually pretty high in comparison to other folks we come up against too. We also have the ability to have multi-store management inside of one Sendlane account. So if you have a Shopify store and you're selling a coffee product, and you have a BigCommerce store and you're selling wholesale tea, you can have both of those accounts in the same Sendlane account. So you have quick access. It's all about convenience and accessibility. Of course, you can have same Shopify stores. They don't have to be two separate platforms, but most other ESPs require you to have separate accounts for everything. Yeah, and so I think we want to throw a couple of links in the chat. If you're new for Justuno, Zach, you want to talk about what the 14-day trial experience, does that come with Commerce AI or is that just regular?
At this point, it wouldn't include the Commerce AI, but that's definitely something that we do offer at Justuno as far as a month-to-month service. So if you're wanting to, just put your toe in the water to our Justuno Plus platform, again, you'd be able to gather that data. You could run a A/B test where the Commerce AI is showing to 50%, and then the other 50 is a control group that wouldn't see it. So you can measure your average order value and see if that Plus platform is going to be best for you. But I would say that all of the other templates are going to be available in the 14-day trial. So definitely add that CRO suite, to your marketing stack for sure.
Great. And we have also the same time period of trial, 14-day. Michael dropped the link in chat. Would love for you to check out our platform. What has sold me consistently on this product is our support team, implementation team, that you get access to pretty much at pretty low levels of contact numbers. So they go above and beyond to help you understand, help you get onboarded, migrate you, whatever you need. So if you're curious to dip your toes in the water of a great customer experience, check out our trial and we'd love to have you. And then lastly, but not least, we are also doing another event together in February, Commerce Roundtable. It's hosted by us at Sendlane. Really great prizes, super great speakers. There's a lot of women on the panel this session, and Jane, the VP of Marketing from Justuno, she's amazing. So I'd love for you to tune in and listen to her. But if you'd like to join that, we'll also throw that link in chat, and then you can use the code VIPJ for free access, so you don't have to pay for a ticket. And I think that's all we got.
Yep, and we're right at time. One question came into the chat at the very end here, if we think we have time for it. Otherwise, I can send that to you guys. But it's Faduma, and I want to know, is the showing recently added to cart items only available if we have Sendlane, or is it a feature on Justuno we can use?
For the Justuno piece, I've seen that function best for our Shopify users. So if you're a Shopify e-commerce user, that template is already available and set up and ready to go. Great question.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think that's contingent on the integration, Faduma, but you know, from Justuno perspective, yes, it's available. From Sendlane, we can also leverage that data, but you don't have to be using the products together.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
Cool. And that's it. And we were right at time, so that works out quite well. Yeah, thank you everyone for attending today. Thank you so much to Ocho, and Zach for presenting all that information. That was a ton and very well done. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks Justuno for having us. Super excited that we're integrated. So appreciate you guys having us on.
Yep. And the recording of this will be sent out tomorrow. So look out for that, everyone, and have a great day. Thank you very much.
Bye, everybody.